Clic. Mao. Ça tue, ça blesse, ça flingue.
They operate in the chief places of commerce, build up luxurious palaces, and look down on us for what we've been subjected to. Right? This goes all the way from the lowest level to the highest. Let's get Revelation 19 and 19. This goes from the bottom all the way to the highest, man. From the lowest level one all the way up to your presidents, your senators, your governors.
That handles this kind of stuff.
Hey man, I got a question for you, buddy. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
I won't take too much of your time.
Well,
What remedy do you prescribe to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native and Seminole Indians to come up out of the conditions that they're in now?
Education.
Education? So we don't have education?
No, I'm saying that's the best to rise all boats. All boats have to go to the same level, so everybody should have the same opportunity. I don't think that's been fair to all the races to get all the equal opportunity.
So how will education change our opportunities?
I'm the same way I went in the abstract. I said take race out of it, and I had a son. And he said, I want to make some money and have to buy a house someday. I'm thinking skilled labor. It doesn't have to be Yale. It just has to be skilled labor, and then you work hard at it.
Well, I mean, you can't take race out of it because if that weren't an issue, we wouldn't need to speak on the education of the blacks and Hispanics versus the education of the other nations. So
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
right, so
Well,
education.
I thought you asked what would education do. So that's why what it would do. If anyone could get it.
Right, but the opportunities that we haven't been afforded aren't the opportunities that we haven't been afforded aren't due to our lack of education.
No, I'm saying there's a lack of it. I'm saying the opportunities haven't been given equally across the board.
Okay, listen, that's fair. Now, how do we change our opportunities for good education? What's the prescription there?
You would hope that participation in voting, politics,
No, it hasn't, and it's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse by the presidential terms, right?
As of the last 2 weeks, yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah. Well, listen, the 14th Amendment is going away, right?
Well, I hope not.
Right. So now the Native and Seminole Indians, the Hispanics, and even the so-called African Americans, our ability to be citizens of America by birth is now being taken away. So we don't have the opportunities for education. We don't have the opportunities for equal employment. We don't have the opportunity for equal housing. We don't even have the opportunity to be considered a citizen at an equal rate because we're 3/5 of a person. And now even that is being taken away. But we tried marching. We tried coming together, joining hand in hand. We tried protests. We tried we tried sit-ins. We tried integration. We tried all of these things. We tried having a black president. None of these things have been a remedy for us. So my question again to you is, what do you prescribe?
Well, what can I ask? What do you prescribe? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We prescribe that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native and Seminole Indians, who are actually the Israelites of the Bible, that they will come back to the laws that were given to them because they keep them in a separatist mind state, and they keep them elevated, as the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6 says, as the people that are above every other people on the face of the planet. But the longer that we stay in the condition where we're minimalizing ourselves or degrading ourselves to these proverbs or bywords such as blacks, colored, Negro, nigger, so on and so forth, we're going to continue to stay in a lower estate amongst the people who are steady oppressing. Right? Because there has been a confederacy, as you can agree, I'm sure, against these specific people groups. Yes?
I don't know what that confederacy again
When you
is.
say confederacy, though, you mean it's like a movement that is.
I mean, they're conspiracy. I'll say conspiracy, right? There's been a confederacy of different races of people or nations of people, right?
There's been racism.
Well, I mean, systematic oppression and racism is a confederacy, especially when it's done by multiple nations of people, right? So there's been a confederacy to conspire legally to oppress these people groups now that slavery has been abolished. So since 1876, there have been policies manipulated in favor of certain people groups and against in opposition of certain people groups. Agreed?
Yeah, to some degree or another, yeah.
Right, so we've attempted to integrate into the political realm of life and do it that way, but we haven't been successful there. Right? So
not as a whole, like 100%. Plenty of people have been very successful.
Like who? Give me an
Individually,
example,
I mean,
if you don't mind.
I'm saying in the abstract, I can definitely say for a fact that there are Hispanic, Black people that have had a great education, have great jobs, careers, homes, everything that you could ask for, and they were afforded those opportunities. Why did they get that opportunity and someone else didn't, or didn't take it, or what happened in two different lives, let's say? Hypothetically, I don't know. It's partially what you're talking about. But I'm just saying it's not 100%. I don't know what to take away from that. Just pointing it out.
Okay. So, understanding the history of America, right? Do you feel that the Europeans that came over here and their descendants have a right to this land? When we think about the means by which they acquired it.
Now, everyone knows our shaded past in America is not stuff.
It's like, so that's I agree, right? It's kind of the elephant in the room in most conversations about it. But if you were to have, let's throw an analogy. If you were to have your house stolen, someone stole your house, began to live there, and then started to pass your luxurious house down to their children, what would your means of justice be for that? What would you declare justice for yourself in that regard? Would a minimum be to at least be able to have your house back?
Sure, yeah. I mean, like you could take, I don't know if you can write it out, but like a squatter moving in someone's home.
Yeah.
They have a lot of trouble off of getting that squatter out. And,
Yeah.
Take legal means to try and fight to get that back.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that the Europeans and their descendants should give the Native Americans and the Seminole Indians their house back?
Not at this point, I'll be honest.
What you say? What you say? What you just say?
But it's like a genie that you can't put that genie back in the bottle. There's too many. It's like a statute of limitations almost on a way. Not that it makes it right. It's just that there's just no way. If I could see a plan of how that would actually, besides just talking about it, like what would that look
Even
like?
aside from that, I'm just asking, would it be fair?
It's in some, again, abstract way. I don't know how it would be done in reality, but
Let's say all of that was to come later, right? Maybe. Let's say all of that was to come later. The hypothetical question is, would that be fair for them to be able to at least get their house back? Which means that the squatter would have to then exit the premises.
So all non-Native Americans would not be able to set foot on.
Well, I mean, the Native Americans aren't the only ones that were here. However, we're using them as the example of this time.
Sure. Well, okay, so people native to the land.
Sure.
Yeah.
Native
So,
Seminole
but
Indians,
that's the idea. It's like contemplating how would you get 300 million people to move out of the United States to somewhere else.
Well, the same way that you got 300 million people
So,
moving
but
into the United States today, right?
So that's the goal you're contemplating. In reality, like really have it happen.
Well, listen, I haven't put a plan out there. I'm just simply asking you if you feel that after having their home stolen and passed down to the children of the people who stole it, if it would at least be fair for them to get their home back.
You can't say 100% yes to the analogy that.
What about you, my
But
friend?
it's like you have to add to that analogy that the person who's not in the home is saying, let's live together. They're not just kicking out.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
It's like it's not like someone steals a home and then kicks out the original homeowner. Like literally, like, and any Native American can, like know about this world. They're not, they weren't moved out. They're still here.
No, but they were oppressed, slaughtered, and are being subjugated to certain parts of their home. You can't come into the kitchen. You can't come into the living room. You can't go into the bathroom. You got to stay up in the attic. That's the equivalent of the reservation that they've been subjected to.
But it's not like they have to stay on the reservation.
Well, I mean, let's take. Do you know anything about South Minneapolis?
I mean,
There's a community in South Minneapolis called Little Earth, right? It's almost 95% populated with Native Americans. However, that place, that community, is so impoverished, drug-ridden, right? But again, these are the things that they've been subjected to. How y'all doing?
all right.
Good, good. Are y'all Native?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, sister?
Yeah, we got.
Can I ask you a quick question, sister?
Sorry,
You wouldn't want to hear? I'm gonna ask her the same hypothetical.
I
and then
understand, but you said short time. We don't have enough time.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
as the people who were living in this land, this is your home, yes? And your home had somebody come in and steal your home. And then they passed your stolen home down to their children and their children's children. What would justice look like for you?
Clic. Mao. Ça tue, ça blesse, ça flingue. Aïe, aïe, aïe.